Hi everyone, it's Miss Brenner. I'm here to go over our Science Fiction Online Week 3 agenda. I hope that you are all staying happy and healthy. I know that several students asked me if I could open this week's assignments a little bit early, so I'm opening them on Friday rather than on Monday to allow you a little bit of extra time in case you wanted to get a head start on the assignments. With all of that in mind, I am more than happy to accommodate your schedules and open assignments early, or if we need to change arrangements for due dates, please contact me. However, I do want to make it clear when things are due so that way there's no confusion. So step one, as per usual to have a successful week, is to watch this video so that way you know what is on the agenda for the week. There is this video, there are also slides. Step 2 is to complete all activities for the week. So this week I opened the assignments on September 11th, 2020 at 10 a.m., which is Friday. And they will close on the 18th of September, which is the following Monday at 8 a.m. With that in mind, an amendment that I am making to our due dates, as much as I try to allow flexibility throughout the week, I've noticed with discussion posts that it is hard for students to respond to discussions when there aren't any posts made till Sunday evening. So discussions will be highlighted in orange in this slide set, and those are your initial post is due Friday at midnight. So that gives you a week to complete it. But you must do your initial post by midnight on Friday to allow time for other students to respond to your initial post. If you have any issues with this or it conflicts with your schedule, please contact me. We can work something out. I'm more than happy to help you. As far as the grading policy, it is still the same. Please make sure you are checking the grade book online. I know that there are some issues sometimes with the transfer of grades from Schoology to Home Access, so I want to make sure that it looks right on your end and that you are seeing everything that I am seeing. As far as assignments that are marked with an EX, those are excused assignments, which means they do not need to be made up. An I stands for incomplete. That means that it was partially started, but you need to finish it. An NS means it was not submitted, or an NG stands for not yet graded, which is when I am working on grading your assignments. If it's going to take me more than a day or two to grade the assignment, I'm going to put an NG in there so that way you know it's like an essay or a project and it's going to take me a little bit. As far as our expectations for week 3, we are continuing to go over information about William Shakespeare, and we're going to be starting a Midsummer Night's Dream. We're going to cover literary terms such as character names, character information, and elements of plot, which are all things students should know. Students will be able to identify characters based on plot moments. They'll be able to reference characters by name. They're going to be able to identify and analyze characters with bias and empathy. So our essential questions for this week are: how do characters' strengths and weaknesses play a major role in their actions throughout Act 1 and Act 2? How do the characters' positive and negative behaviors move the plot forward? So this is what we're going to be addressing this week. Alrighty, for Activity 1, we are going to cover Foreshadowing Notes in Edpuzzle. So you will need to watch the Edpuzzle hosted by me and answer the Edpuzzle questions. I recommend that you take personal notes because this information will be used throughout the rest of the play, and it will be used throughout the rest of our units for this course. So it is important. I know maybe you've already learned a little bit about foreshadowing, but I'm fairly certain that the signposts that we are going to use for this course in order to identify what the author is doing and why they're doing it, you may not have covered prior, and therefore you might want to take some personal notes just to be able to use them in the future. Activity 2 is Shakespeare terms and literary terms. So, in the Activity 2 folder, there is a PDF with different Shakespeare literary terms that you will need to know. There's also a quizzes that I have linked that is a homework review link that I recommend you use to be able to, it's matching in multiple choice, to remember the Shakespeare literary terms because they will pop up on the Act 1 and Act 2 quiz that is coming in the future. That should be through week 4. With that, also in the Activity 2 folder, there is a complete set of ed puzzles that you will need to do for a review of the Foreshadowing Notes. There are 4 Pixar clips that are through Edpuzzle with 1 or 2 questions in each that you will need to answer to review your Foreshadowing Notes. Alrighty. This week we have creative writing. My apologies for the first week. Based on the description from the district, I believe that we needed to do our creative writing on Wednesday to demonstrate that you guys were getting online. However, that is only for my hybrid students who are doing all online. It's a little bit confusing with their criteria, and I think some of the criteria as far as who was online hybrid and who was just online has changed since the first week. So thank you for your understanding and patience. I appreciate it. For this creative writing, it is due at the end of our week 3 cycle, which means that it is due on the 21st. So with that being said, yes, 21st. Sorry, looking at my calendar. So for our creative writing this week, for week 3, we have write about a character who's stuck in an elevator when the power goes out, so that's one option. Write a story about someone who's famous for something they never actually did. Write a story about 2 people meeting during unusual circumstances and becoming fast friends. Or you can write a story that either starts or ends with someone asking, "Can you keep a secret?" So those are our different creative writing for week 3. With that being said, there is a weekly writing competition website that I get a lot of these different writing prompts from. These writing prompts aren't from this week's selection for the competition. However, if you would like to use their weekly writing prompt selections to do the creative writing, so that way you can enter the competition and complete your creative writing for this course, that is perfectly fine. Just make sure that you include the prompt and then your writing when you complete the Google Doc, so that way I can read it. Also, I believe you have to be 18 or older to enter the competition. I think there's like 4 or 5 different writing prompts that they have every week, and they select a winner for each of them, and you win $50. So that is the different competition things. If you are under 18, please get parents' permission. I am not condoning any kind of not appropriate activity. I'm just saying that if you would like to do a competition, you are welcome to, but you must complete the creative writing. Alrighty, on to Activity 3. A Midsummer Night's Dream Act 1. So you are going to listen to an ed puzzle for Midsummer Night's Dream Act 1, Scene 1, and complete the questions. You will then read the story of Pyramus and Thisbe, which is all in the Activity 3 folder, and then watch the Act 1, Scene 2 ed puzzle and answer the questions. At the very end of Act 1 and 2, you will complete a character diagram. So just be aware, you'll have 2 diagrams side by side. One will be a drawing of the characters' relationships in Act 1, Scenes 1 and 2, and the other diagram will be how their relationships have changed during Act 2. So you will find that in the Activity 4 folder. Alright, Activity 4 is a continuation of Midsummer Night's Dream. We're going to go on to Act 2. You're going to watch the ed puzzle for Act 2, Scene 1 and answer the questions, and then watch Act 2, Scene 2's ed puzzle and answer the questions. And then you want to make sure that you complete the Midsummer Night's Dream Act 1 and 2 character diagram. This is in the Activity 4 folder. This activity diagram must be completed by Friday at midnight. This is one of the items that is a discussion, and you are posting an initial post of your images of your diagrams, and then you are going and commenting on another student to make sure that you understand where the relationships are and that they understand, and reflecting on them. That means that in order to have the time to comment on other students, you will need to have posted your initial post by Friday at midnight. If you have any questions about this timeline, please contact me by email. Activity 5 is a Midsummer Night's Dream Acts 1 and 2 analysis. So there are 3 different analysis questions that you will need to answer all 3. The 3 different analysis questions are: many contemporary producers of this play cast the same actors in the roles of Theseus and Oberon, and also of Hippolyta and Titania. What does this suggest about the functions of these characters in the play? How are Hippolyta and Titania similar or different, and how are Theseus and Oberon similar or different? And then the second one, the play presents several different couples: Theseus and Hippolyta, Hermia and Lysander, Helena and Demetrius, and then they also have like different types of relationships, like Hermia and Helena, Hermia and her father Aegeus, and Titania and Oberon. What aspects of love are explored in each of these relationships? And then our last analysis question is: gender issues are significant in this drama. What differences are there in the roles and behaviors appropriate to men and women? Explain examples of these gender roles within the play and why Shakespeare would create characters that behave in this manner. Use elements of foreshadowing to predict character growth or decline. Lastly, we have our silent reading for the week. So, activity 6. You should be reading for a minimum of 90 minutes throughout the week. You can break it apart in whatever form you would like, whether you would like to read in 30-minute segments or 15-minute segments, or maybe you would like to read the whole 90 minutes in one sitting. Our discussion post is: how does the setting of the story you are reading affect the plot of the story? So we're focusing on why the author would have picked a certain place and time to set a story. How might the story change if the setting was different? And then you're going to go and comment on one other student's discussion post about what they are reading. This would be an example of, sorry about the announcement. So this would be an example of when you need to post something at Friday at midnight. This is essential because we want to make sure we give time for students to comment on your silent reading post. I am so sorry about the announcement. Okay, I'm going to try and talk over them. So, assignments and grades for week 3. We have our foreshadowing review ed puzzles. So there are 4 of those. They are 3 points each, which makes them 12 points total. If you guys can't hear me through this, please feel free to email me. Foreshadowing notes, 5 points each. 5 points is the foreshadowing notes. Then we have MidSummer Night's Dream Act 1, Scenes 1 and 2 ed puzzles. Those are 5 points each, a total of 10 points. MidSummer Night's Dream Act 2, Scene 1 and 2 ed puzzles. Those are 5 points each, a total of 10 points. I highlighted for you the discussions that must be completed by Friday by midnight in order to allow time for students to then go and comment by Monday at 8 a.m., the 21st. So, those items are MidSummer Night's Dream Acts 1 and 2 character diagram, which is 10 points, and then the silent reading discussion post, which is 5 points. MidSummer Night's Dream Acts 1 and 2 reflection, which are those essay questions. There's 3 of them. You must do all 3 of them. It's 15 points, and then your creative writing, which is 5 points, which is a total of 72 points this week. There's a lot going on. If you have any questions or any points of confusion, please contact me by email. I'm trying to make sure that I am as quick as possible to get back to you. I will admit I have face-to-face classes in the morning, but usually by 11 o'clock I'm able to get back to you guys because I no longer have students physically in my room. So email me, contact me. I'm more than happy to help you in any way that I can. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.